Hello, dear friends. It's so nice to be speaking with you again. Welcome to Sex Afflictions and Porn Addictions. My name is Craig Perrer. I am the host, founder of the Mindful System, and this is a podcast to help you, my man, to create healthy sexuality and a great life, and to support the wife of the man who is struggling with compulsive sexual behavior. First, I want to start with a commercial. We have a program, and this podcast is for your wife. So if you're a woman listening, take note, use some great value. And if you are a man listening, take notes as well so you can share these resources with your partner to help her navigate what is potentially a very, very difficult time. So, and that's the goal of this broadcast, is to help you, the partner, with 7 resources to help you around your decision to stay or go. It is obviously one of the more difficult decisions in this process. There's so much pain. It's why the term betrayal trauma has taken root. Even though there are some challenges with that. There's challenges with every label. There's challenges with every label, but the reason that has taken root is because you betrayed. The partners tell me it feels like PTSD. They tell me that they are physically sick in their body. And so I'm really proud of our partner empowerment group. We include it in our group coaching program. It's included in our one-on-one. So we've got a great structured program for the partners. And you can go onto the website, www.themindfulhabit.com, and check it out. And it's $199 per month, or it's included with the group and the one-on-one. But if you're a partner listening and you're struggling and you need help, there's a program for you. So just check it out if you need it. And if you don't, I want to walk you through some resources today to help you make that very, very difficult decision. And guys, pay attention too, because there are going to be some solid resources for you here. For those of you listening live, welcome Dan, welcome Rob. And for those of you not listening live, if you want to join me on these live streams, unfortunately, I do not have the structure and discipline. And I have it in so many other areas, but doing these at a scheduled time just right now isn't realistic for me. So if you do want to get notified when I go live, so you can ask questions, and I hope to hear some questions from you guys, you can find the Mindful Habits page on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So if you follow me there, you'll get notified, just like Dan and Rob did when I go live. They can jump on, listen, and ask some questions. So 7 resources to help the partner's dilemma. Should I stay or should I go? Our philosophy around betrayal trauma is this, and I want to lead with this before I jump into the resources. And we say this to our awesome, brave partner clients, is that betrayal trauma causes a wound, a physical wound and a mental wound. And that wound needs to be treated, and he can't treat it. This is akin to a car accident in the pain that is caused. And in a car accident, right, even if it's someone else's fault, or let's say it's the husband's fault. The husband's in a car accident. He was texting. Wife says, stop texting. I don't need to stop texting. Stop texting. I don't need to stop texting. Boom. There's a car accident. And a partner gave me this analogy, by the way. I like it a lot. Does that mean, well, it was his fault? Does that not mean that you need to be treated? No, of course it does. There's pain. You need to be diagnosed. You need to be, need to take your physical therapy. You need to take your occupational therapy. Only you have to be responsible for healing. The hope is that he comes around, that he uses this crisis as a catalyst to create, massive transformation, healthy sexuality, and a great life. But you, as the partner, have to be the primary treater of that wound. And so just want to lead with that. So I'd like to share with you real quick. This is going to be a short one. A happy Thanksgiving to everybody too, by the way. For those of you listening live, well, no, a happy Thanksgiving for everybody. Here is the first book. Now, where did this list came from? A woman in the program, her first initial begins with J, created just a really powerful transformation in the program. And she wanted to leave the program by sharing some resources that she accumulated in the course of this program, what she learned, from other women. And so I'm going to share that list with you and give you a little, blurb on what those resources are, or what I think you should do about those resources are, and how they apply to you too, guys. So pay attention. The first book applies to both people, and the name of that book is No Bad Parts: Healing Trauma and Restoring Wholeness with the Internal Family Systems Model by Richard Schwartz. That book is literally, I was going to grab it as I reached over. It's literally on my nightstand right now. I've just been accepted into the level 1 IFS training. I've done the intro training. I'm so excited to learn more because I am using that system to help people change lives. It is so important to understand your different parts. Brothers, the addict part, the lying part, the small and insignificant part. Partners, the insecure part, the broken part, the devastated part, the wounded part, the traumatized part, the scared part. So No Bad Parts: Healing Trauma and Restoring Wholeness with the Internal Family Systems Model by Richard Schwartz is a very, very high recommend. The other book, and so every book that made this list, I've gotten multiple thumbs up, and I have not read all these resources. I need to acknowledge that, but I trust my clients enough, when they're getting value from our approach and they're finding other resources that are complementing what they are learning. The other is Hold Me Tight: Your Guide to the Most Successful Approach to Building Loving Relationships by Sue Johnson. Okay, so what people like about this book is, and this is obviously for the couple that's moving towards each other, but even if you're moving away from your partner, there will be another relationship someday. And I'm told the practical value of this book is really, really great. So Sue Johnson, so check that out. The other book, I don't know if any of you have heard of Esther Perel. She is an iconic couples therapist and best-selling author of Mating in Captivity, which is a book that we recommend. I should have done it that way. But the name of this book is The State of Affairs: Rethinking Infidelity. And it's again, a book that hopefully will add practical value to you. And here's the quote from the Amazon. She returns with the groundbreaking and provocative look at infidelity, arguing for a more nuanced and less judgmental conversations about our transgressions. Very, very interesting read. And again, I haven't said this yet, but this is a buffet, right? It's very important for you, husband and wife, to take the resources that are bringing you the most value. Now, be careful, because if one of those resources is challenging your belief systems and triggering you and challenging you, don't withdraw from that. That sounds like that's something that you should continue to do. So don't let, if something was triggering you, don't let that be the deciding factor. In fact, this is heavy stuff. And if the resource is touching a wound in a way, that might be a good thing. So be careful of blind spots. But that's the other book that we recommend: The State of Affairs: Rethinking Infidelity by Esther Perel. The next book is her book on mating in captivity. So here she takes on tough questions, grappling with the obstacles and anxieties that arise when our quest for secure love conflicts with our pursuit of passion. That sounds like this is a great book for us guys too. She invites us to explore the paradoxical union of domesticity, I think I got that right, and sexual desire, and explains what it takes to bring lust home. So that's on my list of books to read, and I've just heard really, really great things about that. So check it out. The next book is What Makes Love Last by John Gottman, the country's preeminent researcher on marriage, famous for his love lab at Washington University in Seattle, where he deciphers the mysteries of human relationships. So What Makes Love Last by Dr. John Gottman is another great book that is on Jay's list. The other Gottman book that I literally have right next to me, so if you're watching this on video, you can see it is well worn. It is full of notes. It is and this is for everybody, guys. You need, if you're in listen, you're listening to me because you're training around relationships, intimacy, connection, conflict resolution, likely left a lot to be desired. I'm not saying you leave a lot to be desired. I'm saying the training that you received to live in the most complex of all relationships, your spouse. Most of our training sucked. So learning about what needs are being, what needs you have to get met in a proactive way, being proactive about identifying risks, treating a relationship like a project. If you want a specific outcome in that relationship, there are things that you have to do to be proactive on in creating that. So the 7 principles for making marriage work, a practical guide from the country's foremost relationship expert, John Gottman. If you have not done so already, go to the Gottman Institute's website and sign up for the Marriage Minute. I want you guys to have the best resources out there. The Marriage Minute is a 60-second read once a day, or maybe it's once every few days, and it's just a really, really great, like, short, powerful information about relationships. Okay. Because again, most of our training really, really, really sucked or left a lot to be desired. So here's another book, and this is directly related, ladies, to the decision to stay or go. And it is here, let me read you the title, is Too Good to Leave, Too Bad to Stay, a step-by-step guide to help you decide whether to stay in or get out of your relationship. And of course, this book could be used by both people, the man or the woman. So it's not one or the other, because here's what happens. This work does one of two things. Like Kyle talked about in the chat, his relationship is growing stronger every day, and this work is going to move you towards love and connection, or for some of you it's going to move you away from love and connection. And so this book can help you decide when do you leave. If you don't see a future where you feel valued, where you feel significant, where you feel prioritized, recognizing that no relationship is going to be perfect, but life is too short to suck. And it's such a tough thing. And people say the kids. Well, you know what's worse? And certainly divorce does impact children, but today, better than ever, we appreciate that impact. There are things that parents can do to counter that impact and to be proactive to manage that impact. And yes, that is impactful. It is also impactful to train them to stay in a loveless marriage, in a marriage that is surrounded by conflict. a marriage that is not loving and kind. And so there's a lot of anger and pain here. So this book can help you make that very, very difficult decision, too good to leave, too bad to stay, a step-by-step guide to help you decide whether to get in or stay out of your relationship by Mira Kirschenbaum. So if you're listening live, let me know if you have any questions in the chat. I wanted to do a podcast for the ladies and share with resources that the incredible group of women that I work with 2 times a week on our group calls. We have 3 group calls per week in our partner program. One of them is with me alone or me and the partners. The other is with my wife and I, and the other one of my coaches, George, runs that call in our partner empowerment group. So if you do need help and if your man's not, joining you on this journey, jump in and check out the group. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you get great value from those resources. Obviously, someone who lies, compartmentalizes, lacks empathy, and lies about their sexual expression has a massive impact on the relationship, and is obviously causing a lot of pain. And that relationship has to recover, if you're going to be happy, if you're not going to stay stuck in that sad, miserable place where there is no joy, where there is no happiness, where there is no significance. Guys, we need significance. John Gottman, the author of 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work, and I'm going to do a podcast on this, but I'll close with this. He's figured out the magical formula that every successful relationship must have. And what he and his team are able to do is to predict divorce with 93% accuracy in couples based upon this one metric. This one metric is very simple. And the reason why this metric is so impactful, because it is directly drives right to the root of the human condition. And that is, beyond our physiological needs, we want attention. Martin Luther King calls it the drum major instinct speech. We want to be significant. We want to be seen. We must be acknowledged. We must be seen if we're going to be happy. So what they figured out after studying thousands of hours of couples footage, they recorded couples. They had this lab in University of Washington, and they found that couples who had 5 mini positive attention to 1 negative. So basically what they learned is it takes 1 negative. It takes 5 positive attentions, little bumps, little positive nudges, little, little things, just little positive things. If there were 5 positives to 1 negative, that couple was going to be happy. Once you deviated from 5 to 1, 4 to 2, or 3 negatives to 3 positives, 4 negatives to 2 positives, that couple was destined for divorce or separation, because that core need to be significant, to be validated, to be seen, to be valued wasn't there. It wasn't manifesting. It wasn't living and breathing in the relationship. The guy, for a host of reasons, many of his own doing, he was unable to relationship beyond that place. So anyway, I encourage you to check out. That's the last resource that I will leave you with, the Gottman 5-to-1 ratio. Google it. You'll see a bunch of great articles right at the top, one from the Gottman Institute website. So check that out. And I hope these relationship resources bring you value. And thank you so much for listening. And now I'm going to look in the chat and see if there are any questions that I can answer before we wrap up today. Kyle asked, how do I track money into my experience faster? So that's You have to make yourself, and I'm not, read The Secret, okay? There is something to, that mindset, right? That is a documented scientific reality. Now, I think people have taken The Secret too far, because if that mindset doesn't translate into action, what does that mean? So you've got to put yourself out there. You've got to put yourself out there, applying for jobs. Always be looking for that next opportunity. Trying to find someone who does what you want to do. Finding a mentor, finding that person, because here's the question I ask many of my clients to answer. And once you answer this question, it's like, okay, how do I get there? But is there somebody out there, not as bright as you, not as driven as you, doing something that you love to do, and getting paid more doing it? And that, in my experience, the answer to that question has been a resounding yes, over and over and over again. Brothers, sisters, this is the era of the side hustle. So find a mentor, find someone who's done what you want to do. 2, apply for another jobs. Don't stay stagnant. Update that resume, put yourself out there, network. Number 3, this is the era of the side hustle. There has never been this time that we are in, right now, is the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of mankind. I believe that is actually a financial statistical fact. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I've heard that in multiple sources. And remember that. And so what are you doing to capitalize on that? Are you taking advantage of the compounding value of interest? Are you buying stocks that historically grow over time? Are you saving? And for those of you who got kids, you got to get those kids saving young. So let me just kind of wrap up this point with this attracting money, manifesting money. Most of us have a profoundly broken relationship with money. It defines us as significant. We are, many of us grew up with parents who were employees. Do you know how terrifying it was to stop looking for a job after I got fired 11 years ago? Terrifying. There was no entrepreneurship in my family. You got a job. My father worked for the same employer for, I think, over 40 years. So this recovery work is on your self-esteem, and it presents you with an opportunity to examine your relationship with money. And there's probably leakage everywhere, and there's leakage somewhere, right? Change your relationship with money, but not just money, your value in the marketplace has been programmed. So this is the era. Take advantage of it. Do everything that you can to be doing something. One small item per day, learning about NFTs, learning about investing, taking a fraction of your money that you're willing to throw away, investing in cryptocurrency. And by the way, that's, I meant exactly what I said. Money that you are willing to throw away. So that's not my answer to Kyle's question. That was me thinking out loud and saying too much. And there are people making money in that space. There are people making money in real estate. There's so many things that you can do. Find that thing and do it well and do it better than anybody else. So the best advice that I have for single men like me out there to prepare for a good relationship and a good marriage is to prioritize healthy sexuality. That has a tendency for a lot of guys to go to some pretty dark places, but prioritize that. Practice self-care. Read about relationships. Do what you can to educate yourself. Find maybe, when you do start getting into a relationship, maybe there's some online training or some program. Be your best self. Make yourself the most attractive mate that you can. So when that relationship comes, you're able to be open and vulnerable and honest. It is the weak man whose walls come up and numbs, cope, and escape. It is the strong man. It is this, and I think of the evolution of man. The evolved man is the warrior poet. He is connected. He is engaged. He is mindful. He is a badass, meaning he does what he says he's going to do. I don't mean toxic masculinity. I mean, he's a badass because he's successful. And part of that success is his vulnerability. He's open. He shares. He's connected. So those are some things that you can do to prepare for a good relationship. Yeah, and I'm responding to Kyle's comment in the chat. You're 100% right, Craig. I've been visualizing my dream and waiting for wealth to come to me. I need to start doing something in addition to my job. You have to take action. You have to do something. Now, that something can be a small, trivial act. And oftentimes, it should be a small, trivial act in the sense that you're looking to build a culture of success in your life. And the way that you build a culture of success isn't to hit a low and then sprint, and do all these things that simply aren't sustainable. It's to what I teach people, and one of my favorite bits of coaching advice to give to men is to lower the bar. Craig, I was struggling. I failed. I wasn't able to do this. I wasn't able to do that. Lower the bar. Lower the bar. And what you're doing is you're exploiting and minimizing the fear that's in us regarding the attainment of those goals. They're called Kaizen goals. Look up the word Kaizen, Kaizen. I'm going to do a broadcast on Kaizen. I've done one before, but it's something that I keep learning about and love sharing. But essentially, Kaizen goals are small, attainable goals. So all you have to do is one small thing to move you towards more money, more income. I'm going to call one person. I'm going to research side hustles. I'm going to think long and hard about what it is that I want to accomplish, right? Why do I want money? Know your why. Know your why, and that will move you. If your why is because I want to drive a nice car so people look at me, you are going to be an empty vessel, an empty shell, maybe calling me in your 60s because you had everything you wanted. And you got everything you wanted, yet there was no soul. There was no soul. So thank you for the kind words. Thank you, Kyle. The cure is the aggressive pursuit of a great life, brothers. The cure is the aggressive pursuit of a great life. The longer I do this, the longer I struggle with my own physical issues, mental health challenges that I've shared with you guys in connection with some of the physical challenges that I've had. It is my truth. The cure is the aggressive pursuit of a great life. The only way to be successful long time is to live your best life. Life is too short to suck. Embrace your power of choice and feed the right wolf inside you. Bye, Rob. Bye, Kyle. Thank you for listening. I'll catch you on the next stream. Bye, everybody.